One of the main differences in having no relationship experience in your life and some relationship experience but negative is that piece that I think harmed my self-worth so much is that never being picked, never being chosen, never being seen as somebody desirable to spend time with.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video for you here today from Men Only titled When Modern Women Over 40 Finally Realize They Have Hit the Wall. I see a lot of women having this attitude like, oh, I can settle down when I'm in my 40s, right? I'll meet my Prince Charming and get married. But a lot of them, they've just screwed up their lives, okay? They're not going to meet Prince Charming. A lot of them are not going to get married. And if they do, it's not going to be with a man they respect. I mean, it is just absolutely a mess out here for these women. Let's jump into it.
Having a guy who doesn't post on social media is the best thing on planet Earth until that motherfucker doesn't want to post you. The excuse is always like, well, I don't post. Like, you're right, King. You don't post. I can't even argue with you. But it doesn't mean I don't want you to post me. Like, I think they don't understand, like, why us women want our men to post us. Yes, it's cute, whatever, but it's also the #1 signal to other women that this guy is taken. Like, you post that you're taken, most girls are going to back off.
That's simply not true. If a woman sees an attractive man who is taken, they are more likely to try and get with him because modern women want what they can't have. I mean, I thought this was common knowledge, guys. In fact, you can go out there and you can ask women who are married and who have boyfriends. A lot of the time, they will note that other women try and steal these men.
It's not the same case when it comes to women, though. If I post that I have a man, it's not stopping any other man from coming. In fact, it almost makes them try harder. But with men, posting their girlfriend actually does ward off other women. So if you're one of those motherfuckers that doesn't post anything, thank you, stay that way as a man. But also just post your girl once in a while. Put her on your story. Post a main feed once. Just once. Even if that's your only post, she will appreciate it more than you know.
She's allowed to post thirst traps online for the validation of men, but men aren't allowed to post about anything except photos of her. Makes sense, guys.
Okay, wait, I'm so pissed off. I just got home from a date. The guy walked out literally 10 minutes into our date. If you're a straight man, I need your opinion on this desperately because I think I'm right and clearly he thinks that he's right. So we matched on Hinge and I have really good photos of myself on Hinge. A few of them are AI generated. They look exactly like me. While we were out on our coffee slash like walking date, within like the first 15 minutes, he asked me where one of my photos was taken. I'm not a liar, so I said that it was an AI generated photo. And he said, yeah, I don't think we're a match. And he left. He left.
Of course, that guy left. This woman catfished a guy with an AI generated photo. That means she was literally lying to the guy, and men don't take kindly to women who lie to them.
That seems so dramatic to me. And also, like, everyone is using AI generated photos. If they look like you, who cares? The ones I use with Dream Month look exactly like me. They're not like the crappy ChatGPT ones. So what is the difference? Who cares? I don't know. If you're a straight man, let me know. What do you think?
If a man uses an AI generated photo of himself on a dating application, I guarantee you this would piss a lot of women off. But apparently when it's the other way around, it is completely fine.
One of the main differences in having no relationship experience in your life and some relationship experience but negative is that piece that I think harmed my self-worth so much is that never being picked, never being chosen, never being seen as somebody desirable to spend time with. It's like when you're a kid and you get picked for teams in school and you're waiting anxiously to be picked and then you don't get picked or you're picked last. Well, for some people who have gone through never having a relationship in their life like I did until I was 42 years old.
Women like this love to complain about how they've gone decades without a relationship. But if you ask them about their body counts, they will get angry at you and they will say that body counts don't matter.
That sensation was constantly kind of in my mind and in my heart that like, what is so wrong with me that nobody wants to have me on their team? And I think for a time you can handle that, but when it's year after year, right? So like never getting picked for a team in school is fine, maybe day 1, maybe day 2. But if you go 365 days and you're never picked, it will start to hit you and be like, what is it in me? Instead of what is it in society and what is it with timing and what is it with a million other things.
If a woman wants to blame society, timing, and a million other things, then that shows exactly what's wrong with her. It means that she's had a refusal to take accountability for literally decades, and this old habit dies hard.
I feel like that's what's sometimes hard to explain to people is compound pain. Compound pain with the same issue year after year after year does something to your brain, does something to your heart, and it's hard to get out of that. And what it did for me is it created really intense negative patterns of thinking that caused me to hate myself and have issues with self-worth. But then I'm constantly being told by people of like, oh, just love yourself more and then you'd have it. And so it was like this weird mix of like, oh my gosh, like I'm having self-worth issues because nobody can pick me.
This woman is addicted to her own self-pity. She will endlessly complain about being alone and never being picked for a relationship, but at the same time, she will do nothing to improve her chances.
But people are telling me I have to love myself in order for me to be picked, and I'm gonna get stuck in this loop and never get out of it. So I've dealt with years with really, really difficult self-worth issues and not liking myself and struggling to think that I have any worth or value and having really intense negative thoughts. And they aren't just negative thoughts of like, oh, you nerd, why did you do that? It is like, you are the worst human that's ever existed. No wonder no one likes you. You shouldn't be alive because of who you are. Like,
it sounds like this woman has a lot of personal baggage if this is how she's thinking all the time, but she's not going to put in any time or effort to change that.
Like just continuously intense negative self-talk. So nothing seemed to help that. And I want to share with you one thing that has helped that. And I've shared it in a live before and maybe on here, but when people tell you that you need to just think positively, if my negative thoughts have always been over here and somebody tells me that I need to think positively and I have more than 2 decades of negative thoughts, anytime, because my brain is used to and likes what is comfortable.
Of course, she likes what's comfortable. She would rather drown herself in self-pity than put in the effort to resolve her own problem.
I'm gonna be 45 next month. And I don't know if this is like a product of just aging, but after being single for 5 years, cannot imagine ever wanting to have a man in my space. Having a man in my bed, smelling a man, sharing a bathroom with a man, cooking for a man, having to make a to-do list or a grocery list for a man.
Apparently, if she does all of those things for herself, she's stunning and brave, but if she does any of those things for a man, then all of a sudden she's a slave.
Packing for a trip that I fully plan to go on with a man. Having to make doctor appointments for a man. Planning dates. Everything. Planning my life. With a man just in for the ride. I can't imagine.
It's so dramatic when these women say that they did everything in their previous relationships. All that really means is that she disregarded everything the man did because she considered it done wrong. And just by the way, let's be real, a lot of these women are never specific about what they mean by everything. They just say crap like, oh, I did all the emotional labor.
I cannot imagine having to babysit a man ever again. Share a house. I'm not like trying to be anti-man. I mean, I have a son. But the extra work that comes along with just having a man in your life. Not doing his laundry, picking his clothes up off the floor. Seeing his old underwear in the laundry, taking him shopping and getting him dressed, reminding him to cut that hair on the back of his neck. I don't want to do any of that. I'm okay without that. Every now and then I am compelled to download like Bumble or Hinge, and as soon as I get a message from a man, I get the ick. I really just have no interest in dating or anything. And I often wonder, like, is this how it's going to be for me forever? Like, I don't know. My 20s, all I could think about was men. And now in my 40s, hard pass.
Women like this have nothing better to do. They just come up with these absurd reasons why they hate men, and they're usually the same. They are convinced that all men are just filthy slobs who can't do laundry for some reason.
I am 43 years old, and I have been single for about 3 years, and I have to start my videos like that because if I don't, nobody fucking watches them. About 3.5 years ago, the person who I have a baby with, him and I split up for many reasons, but I'm here to say that I talk a lot on here about being single at this age because people just give people a lot of shit for it. And it's just so foolish because it's like, what are people supposed to do? Stay unhappy in a relationship?
If you were to tell these women to give a simple definition for the word happy, they wouldn't be able to do it. All she knows is that she isn't quote unquote happy, and it's the man's fault for not fixing it.
I don't think really anybody enters a relationship being like, oh, this will end. No. Like, obviously, it's because things have happened. People evolve at different rates, or sometimes just stuff happens. For me, it was really important for my child to see that everyone deserves happiness and for her to see what real love is like. So I do talk a lot about being single on here, and truth be told, I'm not. I met somebody September of 2024.
The excuse that my child deserves to see what a healthy relationship looks like sounds awfully selfish and crazy to me, as if stripping her child away from her father and giving that job to a complete stranger is somehow better for that child's development.
And there have been times where we have not been all the way together by way of circumstance, but also just because there's been some kind of wonky things that have happened thus far in the relationship. I'm not going to divulge those wonky things, but I do understand them. I, for one, go into fight or flight very, very easily, and that is just because of unhealed stuff, I think, from last relationships.
It wouldn't be surprising if she's not doing a thing to deal with her unhealed problems from the previous relationship. She's too busy reopening the wounds for attention instead of trying to move past.
I used to go into fight really easily, and now it's flight. So anything that happens that I don't like, I'm like, bye. And I'm working on it for sure. And for him, I think because of his job, maybe, just hasn't had a ton of relationships. So there's just been some things that have been worked out, and the things that have happened, I understand, and we worked through them. But as I get older, I have realized that what I look for in relationships has changed.
Of course, her priorities changed. She went from wanting fun to getting a man with money to fund her and her child so that she doesn't end up being alone for the rest of her life.
It used to be important to me that I met somebody who would want to come into the city with me all the time and go to shows, or or maybe somebody wants somebody that goes skydiving with them all the time because that's what makes them happy. I, for one, don't want to do that, but you know what I mean. As you get older, those things start to seem more trivial because looks fade, your physicality kind of fades a bit. And I started to think more about well, how do I actually feel around this person?
She should have been thinking about that long before she hit her 40s, but apparently the fun and the addiction to emotional damage was too strong for her to think logically.
How do I feel authentically myself? Am I happy? Do I laugh? And yes to all of those things. And I actually don't think I've ever been all the way authentically myself with anybody, any past partner before. And I am now. As life goes on, some aspects of it get easier, but the things that get harder get much, much harder. So, if one of my parents gets sick, which at some point that will happen, who do I want next to me?
Authenticity is another one of those words that modern women are incapable of defining, but that doesn't stop them from using it to describe who they are after the age of 40.
Maybe somebody that makes me laugh and makes life light and happy. Or if someone gets cancer, I don't want to cry my way through cancer. Hopefully we never get that, but I want to laugh my way through it. And I want to be with somebody who I can laugh my way through stuff. Some of the best relationships that I have had, and I mean friendships, are people that I can be doing the worst thing with, like sitting at the DMV with and having a great time.
Throughout this whole speech, she has talked about everything that she wants, but again, what these women always fail to do is list a single thing that a man might find desirable from her. Absolutely classic. But anyway, guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Drop a comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you take care of yourselves, guys. Peace.